Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken Amron, and this is a continuation of our video series. We have already covered a Lean Six Sigma overview and part one, reviewing a green belt and a black belt project. For part two, we're going to be covering a Lean Six Sigma black belt project, which is on the invoice dispute resolution process improvement project that I led, demonstrated how we achieved a cash flow improvement and provided greater customer satisfaction. That the issue was that the invoice disputes were taking approximately 106 mean days to resolve. And as a result of our Lean Six Sigma Black Belt project, we were able to achieve a 75 mean day cycle time reduction, and we were able to yield an unresolved dispute reduction of $757,000 in the first 12 months. For the define phase, we had an out-of-control process that was taking 106 mean days to resolve an invoice dispute. This was causing customer dissatisfaction with a significant time to resolve our invoice disputes. The team was a cross-functional team, and here we could see that the high-level process from the time that we received customer notification of an invoice dispute, to understand the dispute reason type, to investigate the dispute, to determine what actions to take, to complete the credit and rebill form, receive the appropriate management approvals, for billing to process the credit and rebill systemically, and to review with the customer the invoice dispute resolution recommendations, and then to wait for the customer to provide acceptance of the corrections. Narrowing the invoice dispute resolution closure completion time drives cash flow improvements and improves our efficiencies. So for the project goals, it's to reduce the time that an invoice dispute takes from 106 mean days to the target of 30-day threshold. The CTQs, what is critical to quality for the business, they need to reduce the average time to complete the invoice dispute resolution process. And from the user's perspective, they want the perfect invoice. They want excellent communication. They want to deal with knowledgeable staff. They want accuracy. They want quality. They want fast responsiveness. They want ease of doing business. And they want a competitive price. Here on the next slide, for the project requirements, we could see the baseline data contained in the primary and the secondary metrics. And then not only did we look at the measurements globally, we broke it down by our sales regions. And here we could see anything highlighted in yellow is above the 30-day threshold, which equals a defect. And as we could see that in all regions and globally, that there are defects. Then we looked at the financial analysis that breaks it down globally and the sales regions as far as with the number of disputes in dollars, the percent, the number of records, and the percent of the records. Then we completed a Pareto chart that showed us that there were approximately 20 categories for the reasons for the delays, such as purchase order issues and errors, pricing issues, cylinder issues, as some examples. The number one cycle time delay is the purchase order issues. Then in the measure phase, we collected the data, we prepared detailed process maps, we determined the non-value added activities, which is what can be eliminated, we validated the measurement systems, and we identified areas for the cycle time improvements. And based upon this detailed process map, we circled the areas that were non-value added activities and were defined as waste and the areas that we could focus on improving. Next, we've completed a fishbone or a cause and effect diagram that identifies the invoice dispute resolution cycle time delays. The potential critical X's include paperwork and reporting issues, manual follow-ups, lack of credit and rebill tracking, too many handoffs, the time required to complete the investigation, and inaccurate invoice issues as some examples. So we have determined the major problem areas. Next, in the analyze phase, we completed a root cause analysis by identifying and narrowing down the critical X's. We completed a cause and effect matrix to narrow down the critical X's from 19 to 8. And in the cause and effect matrix, we always look at the inputs compared to the CTQs. Next, in the improve phase, we implemented a weekly scorecard and a dashboard for supervisory oversight. We instilled urgency and trained the team to close the invoice disputes within the 30-day threshold. We set up monthly management meetings for senior leadership monitoring. And we set up scorecards and dashboards for management oversight. In the control phase, we addressed the identified upstream defects such as missing purchase orders to eliminate the root cause of delays at the origination source versus a misdirected focus on the issues after the fact. We established the business process leader responsible for oversight, including daily, weekly, and monthly monitoring. And we implemented an invoice dispute resolution system to track our disputes, to provide workflow and better ways to systemically manage the invoice disputes. So for fiscal year 2019, our average mean days to resolve the invoice disputes is 23 days, which demonstrates that the invoice dispute process is currently under control. It's all about keeping sustained control and achieving the financial benefits over the long term. Thank you.